Welcome to another episode of the Creators Outlet, sponsored to you by our friends over at the Inked Marketing Team. If you're getting ready to launch a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, contact Inked Marketing first. Let them do all the hard PR work for you. 30 years in the business. Check them out for yourself. Inked Marketing. And today we welcome Ringo-award winner Rylend.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's good to be back. I think this is this our third time?
Third or fourth, yeah.
Yeah, something like that, right? Well,
three times in a quick cameo.
3 times in a quick cameo. Yeah. The cameo was you had quite the party going on then, and
I
had an angry 4-year-old banging on the door, so I had to leap out. But yeah, it sounded like you guys were having a good time.
Oh, it took. I was having to mute people because it was just,
Surly bunch.
Yeah, you couldn't, they were like, "Well, it's your 100th anniversary, so we're going to be smoking and drinking throughout this podcast." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's not a good idea."
Seems like a good enough idea, but yeah. So back and here to tell people about the Jump issue 2.
Issue 2. So yeah. I got the first one digitally because I was low on funds. But this time around, thanks to selling a bunch of toys and comics, I was able to do the catch up and get the first two physical copies so I can have them in my possession.
Yeah, the catch-up tiers. Yeah. Those first issues will sell out. But yeah, I mean it's the good thing about the issue 2 campaign is that if you missed out on the first one, you can grab everything from the first one and all the new stuff for the second one here. But yeah, the Jump is a kick you in the teeth and not anywhere else, as I like to say, paranoid thriller set in the world of astral projection, and I call it. Inception meets the Bourne Identity if it were dripping with macabre and directed by David Fincher. So that is my sort of boiled down flashy pitch for you. So yeah, we're doing well. We're nearing 330 backers, something like that, and about $15,000. So we're cruising, and we're about to hit that 48 hour mark where everything kind of soups up and amps up. So it's a good time to come and chat about it.
It's a good time to get on this. Of course, the link for the Kickstarter is right at the top in the chat. And yeah, 14,616, 326 backers, and 51 hours to go. And we all know, like, those last 48 hours, everything usually ramps up, and you see a bunch of people that were interested in it at the beginning. They were like, "Well, let's see if it gets there, and then I'll buy it." And well, it's there. It's past there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you collect these project watchers as the campaign goes on, and then at the 48 hour mark, Kickstarter sends everybody an email and says, "Hey, this is ending in 48 hours, so get on board or you're going to miss it." And so, yeah, right at 48 hours, you get a huge wave. And then they send another email at 8 hours. So you get another kind of boost then. And, then it's closed out. But yeah, this has been a long one, a hard fought one. So I've enjoyed it. It's fun. It's cool to see people kind of gobbling up your book and getting excited about it and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm ready for a long nap, I think.
Like you can get a long nap with a 4-year-old in the house.
Yeah, I'm probably deleting myself, right? But yeah. So that's a good point. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the trauma purge.
Trauma purge. Yeah. The first issue, really, it sets up this world. It sets up this online community of astral projectors, and it kind of sets up the plot, the principal conflict right off the bat. Issue 2 is really interesting, where it really kind of gets into the psychology of the main character in a very interesting way. It's a guy basically dealing with a form of PTSD, and he's kind of refused to deal with it seriously in any meaningful way. And he gets kind of pulled into this community of astral projectors, and very much starts to see this as a way to kind of work through some of the things he's dealing with in a meaningful way. That said, there are some kind of nefarious people who are using that against him. So I don't want to reveal too much, but yeah, that's going on. But there's a note up at the top. We've hit our first 3 stretch goals, and so each backer receives a print, which is a pretty amazing Mike Mignola tribute, which is down at the bottom. We'll see that eventually. So they receive the prints. They receive the Rylend Grant versus trading card set, and then they receive our bonus digital extravaganza, which is a dozen plus digital comics from some of the hottest creators in comics. So you're basically getting each backer also gets issue 1 of ABERRANT, issue 1 of The Jump, and issue 1 of BANJAX, my other comics, and then a very meaty preview of the Peacekeepers. So each backer gets about 16 comics, probably north of that for one pledge. So a lot of value here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So when we used to have Comic-Cons, those, if you remember those things back in the day, did anybody ever show up dressed up as BANJAX?
No, I guess I haven't had that sort of cosplayer yet. I'm trying to think of some of the odd duck ones. No cosplayers just yet, but hopefully they come. With the Ringo Award love and stuff like that. Maybe that'll happen someday once cons comes back. I did have a guy. There's a guy at the Baltimore Comic Con, I guess, who is pretty well known, and what he does is he prints out. He makes creator baseball cards almost. And so he made a Rylend Grant trading card and showed up with it and asked me to sign it. And so if you go to my Instagram account, you can see it way down the feed somewhere where I just made him. I'm like, okay, I'll sign this, but I want a picture of it. I wanted a Rylend Grant trading card. I was demanding that he send me one, but he's like, they're too expensive to make. So that's maybe the goofiest fan interaction I've had, but no cosplayers just yet.
Well, you never know. So this is the main cover A right here.
Yeah. That's the main cover, which is a kind of thinly veiled tribute to "Take on Me," the "Take on Me" video by Aha. But yeah. Nice little, beautiful kind of trippy astral imagery, and then and then with our variants, of course, we get into our kind of goofy. So 4 covers. You have the regular, and then you have
Let me get the preview so people can check out a few pages of the book.
Yeah, I think it's about a 12-page preview. So nice and meaty. And then if you're new to it. There's a link here, but you can also go to the issue 1 Kickstarter page is still up, so you can read the preview on issue 1 also. But there's cover A, and then we have our variants. We always like the pop culture variants are very. We're known for our pop culture variants on ABERRANT and BANJAX. We made a lot of waves. We had a Gremlins variant for BANJAX and a Rocky IV variant, and then on ABERRANT we had a Weekend at Bernie's variant and a Coming to America Zamunda variant. I'm looking up here because a lot of my comics are up there. But anyway, so we're pretty well known for those, and so people always expect us to kind of raise the bar on them. And so here we have a Back to the Future variant. We have a Mandalorian homage variant.
That might be a little popular.
Yeah, the Boba Fett armor. Yeah. And then we have a Magnum PI variant, which is very much for me. But the cool thing about here is, I think the last time I was on it, I kind of talked about this, where our, Kickstarter is a really interesting interactive community, and we don't want to just make a book and put it out. We want to sorry, I have people blasting in here, but we have lost where I was. You have a unique opportunity to interact with the fans there, and so we want the campaign to reflect that. And so one of our cool tiers, if you go back up to those covers, I mean, I guess we did it with these also, but one of our coolest tiers, and it's a very unique experience to Kickstarters, we have a put you on a cover tier.
Mm-hmm.
And so we will there's a tier, we will put your face on one of these covers. So if you go up to the Mandalorian cover, if you always wanted to wear Boba Fett's armor, we will make you Boba Fett. We have taken couples, a husband and a wife, and put them on the Back to the Future cover. So yeah, we have this, give me a second, I'm just I'm getting a lot of messages and stuff like that. So yeah, and then we have the digital tier. Well, we will send you a kind of a print ready digital file that you can do whatever you want with. We had a guy last go around who put himself on the Ghostbusters cover, and then he printed himself up a 24 by 36 poster that he keeps in his man cave. That was just glorious. Just looks gorgeous. But then the coolest thing that we did was, printing is very expensive, right? And so, and particularly if you're not printing a ton of copies of something. And so initially, this put you on a cover tier was just a digital thing. But we kept getting feedback from the backers being like, hey, we love this, but it would be really awesome if you could find a way to actually put us on a physical issue. And so eventually I'm like, okay, well, now I got to figure out how to do this. And so I spent about a week calling printers, and I finally found a printer that would, for a reasonable price, put people on a physical copy of the book. And so now there is a tier where you can back it, and we will put you on the cover, and then we will send you 2 copies of the book with your pretty face on it. So yeah, if you want to be Magnum PI, or if you want to be Boba Fett, or if you want to be Marty McFly, or whatever, we'll put you on the cover. And I mean, people have loved those things, So,
oh yeah, those tiers for lots of campaigns have just skyrocketed. There's a line of people, and I've seen in the chat of various campaigns where they're like, I'm so mad. I should have got this earlier. It's all sold out. I'm like, well,
Yeah. I mean, it's I mean, we have to keep those limited mostly for artist time and stuff like that. But it's just I mean, it's again, anybody can get on Kickstarter and sell a book. We want to make the experience unique and interesting and interactive, and so we have those put you on a cover tiers. We can actually put you in the book. I mean, you can be just kind of a background character in the book. You can be a if you scroll down, you can actually see some examples of that. But you can get a supporting role in the book too, which is interesting. You have lines. You're actually interacting with the characters in the book. We can go back to some of this stuff, I guess. But there's the put you on a cover. So yeah, there's it's a guy named Aaron who had himself put on the Ice Cube Today Was a Good Day cover. And then if you go down the Draw Me In tier, that is the bearded comic bro right there. And his first appearance in a comic book was the first issue of this. You can kind of see him in the background of that.
Oh yeah, right there, yeah.
Yeah, and Fabio does a really good job with these. So and then you have the Draw Me In and Give Me Lines tiers, which are great, where you're actually, again, a supporting character in the book. You're interacting with the main characters, and those get down. And if you see this example here, that was a backer there, and he's obviously has a very interesting, unique look with the beard and everything, but he has this pipe that it's like his pipe, and that pipe was very important to him, and we found a way to incorporate that. And then you can see his tattoos are like just pretty much photo realistic, I mean, we got it exactly. So this is a high level of stuff. And so if you've been a comic fan forever, how often do you get a chance to actually appear in a comic, and appear in a comic at that sort of high level is pretty interesting. But yeah, if you back it up, we miss some stuff. I can kind of give you the spiel on what the I mean, that's the put me on a cover tier. But But yeah, I mean, we also have a bunch of commissions. So the artist on this book, Fabio, was nominated for a Ringo Award last go round as best cover artist, and then Edson, the colorist, was nominated for best colorist. And so we have 2 Ringo nominated artists here, and so yeah, they are open for commissions right now, and so you can back a tier and get yourself a commission, and it's anything goes. We have certain people that are like, hey, make me Superman or something like that. And we can do that, or sometimes we get crazy ones like, hey, I want a pinup of my neighbor fornicating with a goat, and and we will accommodate requests like that. Also, we've had
Welcome to California.
Anything goes. So plenty of that stuff, and then we have original art. And then the process stuff is really cool too, where we kind of take you, if you scroll up just a little bit, we take you kind of behind the scenes of the making of the book. Where you get the script, you get the publisher pitch document, and then you get all the layout files, all the inked files, all the color files, and you kind of get to see how the book is built from start to finish. So you read the script, you see each step along the process. And so, there are a lot of, kind of would-be comic creators on Kickstarter with a lot of questions. How do I do this? And, when I was learning how to do this, you didn't have resources like this. Every once in a while I'd trip over a script book or something like that, and be able to compare that to an actual issue. But I think being able to go in and kind of see every step in the process is really interesting, and really valuable if you actually want to go in and start creating comics. So again, Kickstarter is all about kind of making an experience that you can't get anywhere else, and so we thought that this was a unique thing to offer people.
And there's many tiers. There's a doing a solid $5 PDF tier. And then there's a digital deluxe PDF tier with even more stuff. And the Jump 1 and 2 digital catch-up for $15. And $20 gets you the book, the regular edition, plus all the
that's the thing. You're getting the book, but you're getting the 16 extra comics. You're getting all the art files. You're getting just a ton of stuff there. It is a laundry list of goods. You're getting the print. You're getting the card set. You're getting the card set was really fun to make. That's down the page a bit. You can scroll down to that and find that at some point. But if you told me when I was 8 years old that I was going to be making a Rylend Grant versus trading card set, with images I've created, I probably would have shat myself. But yeah, we started as a stretch goal on the Peacekeepers campaign last go round. And we created 3 cards back then, and so we're doing 3 more for this campaign. Yeah, there it is right there. And so the last go round we did a baseball card fans will recognize the one on the left. It is an homage to the Billy Ripken fuckface card that Fleer accidentally released in the 80s. Mm-hmm. He showed up for his photo shoot, and kind of as a joke, his teammates wrote fuckface on the bottom of his bat. And Fleer took the picture and nobody noticed it, and they released it. And so the bottom of the bat said fuckface on it. So we have Lance Cordry from ABERRANT there, who that's the character for which we won the Ringo Award for Best Villain. And he has his own fuckface card. And then we have our BANJAX garbage pail kid there in the middle, which is some of the best garbage pail kids are kind of mashups. And so BANJAX, his given name is Laird Mason, and so we did a little Hard to Kill Steven Seagal reference there, Laird Mason Storm, and so it's BANJAX meets Steven Seagal from Hard to Kill, and then we did a Peacekeepers FBI wanted poster card there on the right, and so
That's cool.
just lots of fun, and they were great, and they went over really well, and so you can get these older ones here on the campaign, but then you can also you can also get the new ones. We're going to create 3 new ones for the campaign, and everybody will receive those also. But then, yeah, this is a these campaigns, obviously, as you said, there are no cons right now. So and then, truth be told, with a 4-year-old at home, and my day job is writing movies and TV shows, so I don't get to travel around and do too many cons. I mostly stick to the Southern California ones, so it's not the easiest thing to get a signed book for me. So this is a very easy way, probably the best way to get a signed book from me. The only way right now, really. But I'm signing, issues of the Jump, but then my entire library is available here. So, the Ringo-award-winning ABERRANT is available. BANJAX, as you were talking about, my 4-time Ringo-nominated superhero noir, and then my other Kickstarter book, The Peacekeepers, my sort of Fargo-esque crime drama. Those are all available there. Signed copies, rare variants, all that noise. If you scroll up a little bit, we have some really rare ABERRANT and BANJAX variants available, and this is the only place you'll be able to get them, basically. So there are these con variants that exist. Scroll up just a little bit more to the top of this section, because the meteor ones are up top, but those go down to the uber rare con. Down there. So as I alluded to, so there are these uber rare con variants. You have the Gremlins BANJAX variant, the Rocky IV BANJAX variant. You have the Iron Man Demon in a Bottle homage variant, and then you have the for ABERRANT, you have the Coming to America Zamunda variant, the Karate Kid variant, the Weekend at Bernie's variant, and there are a couple more down there. But so these things were basically only available for in some cases they were available for 2 days at San Diego Comic-Con, at the Action Lab booth in 2019 or something like that. And, only 50 of some of these exist. So, in terms of collectability, these are extremely rare items, and you basically can't get them. I kept a stash of them, and so I'm making them available here. So, and I'll sign those, and if you want me to, and all that stuff. So this is it's not just a Kickstarter campaign; it's also kind of the Rylend Grant market. All things Rylend Grant are available here. In a tier via add-on or something like that. And so it's a good place to come if you want a signature, you want a rare thing, or whatever.
Every time I see Billy D. Williams, I just try to picture him holding a Colt 45.
Yeah. Well, it's a very bold take on the Colt 45. I'd actually have the I got a bunch of shit in my house, but I don't know if you can see it or not. But up top, I have one of the old Colt 45 Billy D light up signs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, works every time, and so that cover is actually an homage to that advertisement. And instead of Colt 45 working every time, he's actually saying ABERRANT works every time. So that was a very popular variant. People kind of flip for that one. I'm a big fan of it. It's one of my favorites. Billy is Billy's a favorite of mine. And then we actually had when BANJAX was nominated for the Ringo Awards, Pop Cult HQ got Billy to do us a video.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a nice shout out in which he actually explicitly says BANJAX works every time. so both ABERRANT and BANJAX work every time, if anyone had questions.
Oh yeah. So now everybody's going to want to, once cons open up again, everybody's going to want to take these books and get Billy D to sign them. He's on the cover, and of course he's got to sign that copy of BANJAX, because hey, it works every time.
Yeah, well, get Billy to sign one and then send me one.
It's $25. You get the physical copy, and that's your choice of a variant for that.
Yeah. And the variants are uber limited. I mean, what I should say is that with all these, like they'll only, be available via Kickstarter. Like you won't see these again. These are uber limited variants, and so, the book may eventually see some sort of, comic shop release. It'll be in a different format when that does happen, but anything that you're seeing on this Kickstarter is going to be exclusive to the Kickstarter. So.
Yeah, you can get the regular edition signed for $25. Then it's the book Your Choice of Variant signed, and this is the one I got. I was like, well, for an extra few bucks, I can get both issues signed instead of just getting both issues.
Yeah, and I think you get to pick your covers in each case too, which is nice. So
yeah, it said that, but I didn't see where to do that. So
you'll get a survey via BackerKit afterwards, and you'll just get to click on which cover you want. So we make it really easy for you. Yeah, no choices to make now. You'll just
I was going away because there were like so many add-on choices.
Yeah.
When I got to checkout, I scrolled down so far I felt like I was scrolling from my birth year again.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, I sort of wonder. It's always a tug of war between like wanting to make all of this stuff available because people keep asking, oh, add this and add that, and then trying to make that kind of simple, and but I don't know. I guess I sort of err on the side of making everything available. And I mean, if you missed anything, you will be able to add some stuff via BackerKit also. So
yeah, well that's great because you can get. There's so much stuff that you can get, especially the rare variants that they're super limited, and you're the only one that knows when they're going to run out, and so you really want to get on those.
Yeah.
And then there's the Rylend Grant digital stockpile.
Yeah, that's everything I've ever written for comics. So you get two seasons of The Jump, a season of BANJAX. You get 2 issues of the Peacekeepers, 2 issues of The Jump, and Tales from the World of Monster Matador. I think that is that's everything. So it's I don't know what that is. 19 is it? 19 comic issues, 650 plus pages. So that's that's a lot of reading.
That's enough for a weekend, I guess. $60, you get all 4 covers, which is still that's cheap because usually those variant covers usually run like $30 a piece.
Yeah.
So basically, you're buying 2 variant covers and you're getting the other 2 covers for free.
Yeah.
And an extra $5, you get them all signed. Or $80, you get issues 1 and 2, and you get all 8 covers that are available.
Yeah, all 4 covers from issue 1, all 4 covers from issue 2, and the issue 1 covers were great too. I mean, you showed them briefly before, but we had a Ghostbusters cover, we had an Ice Cube, Today Was a Good Day cover, and then we had kind of a risque variant, as it were, that was kind of a great kind of punch you in the face image. So those are great covers, and the again, for the collector, for the completist, those are always good tiers to do. Some people are just kind of discovering us, tripping over us, so it's nice to offer all those up for everybody.
And then for $100, you have the print stockpile. So all the prints. Is it all the prints from all your?
Well, no, the print stockpile is it's literally a print copy of everything I've done. So you get the you get 2 ABERRANT trade paperbacks. You get a BANJAX trade paperback. You get the print version of the Peacekeepers 1 and 2, and then you get print copies of The Jump number 1 and number 2, and all of those come signed. So.
And you get a choice of cover on the jump too.
Yeah.
$100, you get a one-on-one Skype session with you to talk about anything.
Yeah, and those have been really valuable. I think I first offered those. It was it Creators for Comics? There was that whole Twitter movement where we were trying to raise money for comic shops that were kind of in trouble.
Yeah.
And I first offered one of these one-on-one Skype sessions as like an auction. And there were a lot of people who were kind of very enthusiastic about the auction. And so I finally just set a price and I said, look, donate $100 to Creators for Comics and I'll do one of these one-on-one Skype sessions. And so we ended up having, I think it was 9 takers or something like that, something absurd. So we raised a lot of money for comic shops, and that was awesome. And then just doing them, I just realized that it was kind of it was valuable for people. I mean, I know, and basically it's just a chance to pick my brain. I mean, look, I've been writing in Hollywood for 15 plus years, and I've written movies for Ridley Scott and JJ Abrams and John Woo and Luc Beson and Justin Lin. And, and then of course, I've been, putting comics in comic shops for, 5 years now. And, won a Ringo Award, been nominated for 6 more, and so basically it's a you set the agenda thing. I mean, if you want to you want to talk about breaking into the film business, you want to talk about you want to do a comic book how to, you want a pitch review, you set the agenda, and we'll talk it out. And yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's funny because I've made I feel like I've made some like real deal creator allies doing these things tue, where it's like these things have never really ended with one Skype session. Usually end up with my email address at the end, and then it becomes this kind of this I don't know, this relationship. We creators have to stick together, right? So if you're a creator and you're trying to get things done, I'm happy to help. And we all help each other in this business. So yeah, these have been good. I'm excited about them, and I'm always excited when somebody takes one of those because usually ends up being a fun time.
And then you have a retailer tier, which is the only way to get these into comic shops right now, is through the retailer tier.
Yeah, and that's been great. Yeah, so you get 10 copies of our Kickstarter books, period. So you kind of if you're a retailer, you choose. You get 10 issues, and you choose how they're split between the covers. So you can choose the Jump 1 or the Jump 2 or the Peacekeepers. And we have 4 covers for each of those. So you can be like, I want 2 of these and 2 of the, I want 2. I want 2 issues of the Jump Ice Cube cover. I want 2 issues of the Jump 2 Back to the Future cover. I want 3 copies of the Peacekeepers Point Break cover, and on and on and on. So we get you 10 copies, and then I just like to make it worth the retailer's while. So I always include a bunch of extra stuff. Signed copies of the Jump, signed copies of ABERRANT, signed copies of BANJAX, some of the rare variants, that sort of thing. So you get a nice package, and definitely ends up being kind of worth the worth the price of admission for you. So
yeah, and because a lot of retailers are kind of like sketchy about going into the crowdfunding market to stock their shelves with some good stuff, because they're not sure if it's going to complete, if it's not going to complete. And Kickstarter, it's no big deal, because if a project doesn't fund, they get a reimbursement.
Yeah.
On Indiegogo, if a project doesn't fund, they take your money as soon as you pledge. So
yeah, that's scary. But yeah, it's always a anytime you put something in your shop, it's a risk, right? So we try to make it as worth your while as possible. So tons of extra goodies, and yeah, they're great books. So
Yeah, and people are always diving headlong into like, super cool variant covers. And of course, I mean, just looking at the covers on the screen right now, you know, outside of Billy D, uh Karate Kid is like super hot right now because of the Cobra Kai series, which is fantastic. And the other covers are all great too. And I personally like Weekend at Bernie's myself, but
big fan.
That's probably because I watched the movie probably 100 times already. But
I'm right there with you.
People like see these covers and they're like, as soon as they find out they're rare limited variants, they're like, take my money.
Yeah.
So it's good for the store. It's good for you. You get more word of mouth out there. $100 or more for original art.
Yeah. You get hand drawn, hand inked a piece of art from Fabio. Again, Fabio was just nominated for best cover artist for the Ringo Award. So yeah, you can. There's some samples on those if you scroll down, but yeah, and then I think it's actually up, but that is our Mike Mignola print right there that everybody gets. But
That's
I gotta let my dog in here. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
She's going crazy, scratching at the door. Gotta live. Broadcast him from home. Watch out, dude.
There they are.
Yeah, there you go. The way things work is that these later tiers they all include the stuff that came before. So you also get all 4 copies of the Jump 2, signed by me, and then you get all the extras too, and then you get the original piece of art also. So and then same thing with the Skype session. You get all 4 all 4 covers. You get them signed by me, and then you get all the extras. And so
I'm just not used to seeing original art at such a low price.
Yeah, well, particularly it's like the all 4 covers tier. I think is the all 4 covers signed tier is $65 in itself. So it's not that much to just kind of level up. And people have been really happy with these. I think they're great. Hand drawn, hand inked, the whole 9 yards. So it's fun. Again, we're trying to give people great stuff here. So and then here are the commission tiers again. Anything goes. We have a black and white tier, and then we have a second tier where we'll come in and color it also.
And Put Me on a Cover digital version is 101.
Yeah, and again, all these include all 4 covers signed and all the extras.
And Put Me on a Cover physical issue is 125.
Yeah,
and you get all 4 covers, plus you get to choose what cover you're on.
What cover? Well, yeah. So you get all 4 covers clean as everyone else receives them, and then you also receive 2 additional issues with you on them. So you're getting 6 total comics there. 2 of them have you on it, and you get to choose which cover you're going to be in. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's a lot there. So
I just wonder how many people are like signing the book themselves and selling it because they're on the cover.
That's funny. I guess if you had enough of a following, you might get somebody to buy it. But
yeah. Pledge 130 or more, you get a digital commission from Fabio in color. 200 gets you drawn in. 400 gets you drawn in, and you get some lines in the book.
Yeah, you're a supporting character, so.
And $1,000 or more, original Jump story starring you.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting one, kind of the ultimate, include you in the experience trip. But yeah, we will do a 5-page original story starring you as the protagonist, and it takes place in the world of the jump. And it's not some canned story that we're just going to kind of put you in. This is I get on the phone with you and we talk about what you like and what you're interested in, and what you don't want to be seen doing, and all that stuff. And then I kind of build the story around that. So they've been really fun. The first one we did was for the Jump 1 campaign, and that's actually going to appear in the back of this issue too. So, so your story will then appear in the next Kickstarted version of the Jump. So you'll be in the back of issue 3. But yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of great feedback on these. People are really happy with them, and I mean, the funniest thing, you talk about how interactive the experience is. So on the Jump 1 campaign, we had somebody pledge for one of these, and then almost immediately I had 2 people pledge at the Draw Me In and Give Me Lines tier. Hey, Lost in Comics, how you doing? Last week push, hell yeah. Yeah. The Lost in Comics guys decided to be immortalized. I believe they were jealous of Bearded Comic Bros' appearance and did not want to be one up. So they went big. I'm looking forward to seeing them in the book. But yeah. So almost immediately. So we sell one of these original Jump stories, and then almost immediately we have 2 people pledge at the Draw Me In and Give Me Lines tier. And the timing seemed weird, so I messaged the guys and I thanked them for it, and I just assumed that they want to be in the regular book, but they're like, no, we're the guy that bought the original story, we're friends of his, and we want to appear in his story. and so I then had to kind of create this story around these 3 guys, and it turned out great. Again, it'll be in the back of this issue too. And so, yeah, it was really exciting. And so it's just, I mean, it's the beauty of Kickstarter is just where else, like, in the world of comics can something like that happen? These 3 guys kind of get together and, sort of, I don't know, find a way to, like, get themselves in this comic book together, like, perpetrating hijinks,
Easy.
It's fun. But
so when I get these books in, the first thing I'm probably going to do is flip to the back of number 2 and read these 3 guys' story.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a good story. So yeah, I recommend it.
And the associate producer credit.
Yeah, we have a couple of producer credits here, but yeah, it's I mean, I have for about 15 years made my living writing in Hollywood, and actually my business for the last 8 years has been setting up IP. So usually I write a short story first, and then we set the short story up in Hollywood, and then they pay me to write it as a movie or a TV show or whatever. And then Aberrant, my first comic book, was set up as a TV series, I think 2 weeks before the second issue hit comic shops. So being developed as a TV series by Tony Krantz, who produced 24 and Felicity, and he's doing Woo Assassins for Netflix. Big action guy. Did Mulholland Drive for David Lynch, and so yeah, big long track record of kind of setting up these things in Hollywood, and so yeah, there is a chance to kind of be a producer on the project, basically, and so there you go. And so yeah, we have associate producer tier, a co-producer tier, an executive producer tier. You kind of pick the credit you want, and then you will appear in the book with the creators. Right next to we have one in the Jump already. We have an associate producer. So yeah, if you see, we have. Let me try to get this centered, but you have. Me as the writer, Fabio as the artist, the colorist, the letterer, and then you have our associate producer, Michael Nossi, right there. Mm-hmm. And so you appear in the book, alongside the creators as a producer, and then if and when it gets made into a movie or or TV show or something like that, you get the same credit on the movie or the TV show. So, you know, a lot of people trying to kick their way into Hollywood and looking to put some credits together. And so, you know, and we have no movie, we have no TV show without a book, and we have no book unless we can, you know, pay the artists and get the thing printed and get the thing into comic shops and all that stuff. And so, you know, there are a lot of people who, you know, get, you know, credits on movies and TV shows by bringing money to the table. And so, so why not get one for helping to bring the IP to life too? Cause that's really right now the most important thing. So, yeah. So, if you're, you know, if you're looking to kick your way into Hollywood, it's a good way to kind of start putting some credits together.
Co-producer for $2,500 and executive producer credit for $5,000.
Yeah, and again, those include, you know, all 4 copies of the book and all that stuff. So early bird tiers were gone in the first 48 hours.
Yeah,
but yeah,
you all lost out on all the early bird tiers.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think we have, you know, what do we have now? 50 hours or something like that. We're about to hit that 48-hour mark. So 2 days left. It's a great book. Might be the best thing I've written, and you know, I think you'll really dig it. So hop on board.
Yeah, most definitely. It's getting down to the wire, and I mean, is there another stretch goal that you have that hits at 15K?
Well, we have a 16K stretch goal, so yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so that's coming up. Yeah, we've you know, we sort of busted through the first 3, and so yeah, so we have a 4th one at 16K that hasn't been revealed yet, but it's going to be a cool one. So you know, it's cool to be able to kind of augment the experience, you know. So every couple of thousand, we try to give you you know, something new and something exciting and something cool. So
a little something. Well,
yeah.
I for one am going to be excited about getting some trading cards.
Yeah,
it's been many moons since I've gotten a new, you know, trading card. You know, ever since Wizard went out of business, because at least I could get a trading, you know, a crazy, you know, bougie, shiny old trading card for, you know, promoting something. Usually from Image, but that was cool because I collected all the Image comics in the 90s. Because
I missed. Yeah, I missed those cards, and that was, you know, that was really what you know, sort of inspired me to go ahead and do these. I mean, you know, also just kind of the kid in me wanting to make my own trading cards. So, you know, I mean, when do you get that opportunity? So.
Spurned on a little bit by that guy at the convention that made a trading card of you and wouldn't give it to you.
Yeah, I might have to thank that guy. Yeah, at least I got my picture. But yeah, I mean, I want that goddamn trading card. So maybe I'll just make a Rylend Grant trading card. I need to make 3 this go around for the backers. So so maybe I'll make a Rylend Grant trading card this time. That's not a bad idea. I just don't know how I want to. How will I portray myself? I guess that's the question.
Holding up BANJAX's helmet in one hand.
Nice. Yeah.
You know, crushing the helmet, hold out in one hand.
Yeah, I think maybe like me as Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse, like tearing out David Pepos's throat. What do you think of that? Is that a good one?
I don't know how David will feel about it, but sure.
He's a good sport.
It's like, okay,
yeah,
I'd be down for that. I'm excited to get some trading cards, some cool trading cards, and get these books and read that 5-page story about those 3 guys, and then eventually get the 5-page story about the Lost in Comics guys, and
yeah.
Then then of course I will have to send a copy of issue 3 that they're going to be in, you know, down in Texas, and get them to sign it and ship it back.
Yeah. Well, the Lost in Comics guys, they're not doing the they're not doing the 5-page story. They're just appearing in the book. But
okay, that's still
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
though.
Yeah, yeah, won't be that meaty, but you will have their their first appearance, as it were. Yeah, the first appearance of Bearded Comic Bro is already the prices are already bonkers. So
It's already a thing. So
people knifing each other in alleys for that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's got to be a fight to be in the book from now on, though.
Well, yeah, we can only do so many of them. So usually ends up being a dogfight at the end. So I mean, I will say if anyone out there is interested in the drawn tiers, you should grab them, because they'll get gobbled up here during this like final 48-hour frenzy. So grab them.
The final frenzy will probably end up, I would think, without a doubt, unlocking that next stretch goal too.
Yeah, I think so. More value to come. So we'll see. But yeah, I think you're probably right.
So I'm excited. I want to thank you for coming on and talking with us again. And I know Lost in Comics is excited. They spent their lunch break watching my podcast, so that's a first.
Yeah, thanks guys, much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the opportunity here.
Yeah, I'm going to, once we wrap up here, I'm going to download the audio from this, and it'll go up on my podcast server. And of course, I'll tag you in all the links for that and get the downloadable audio out there too.
Cool. Nice. Yeah.
So thank you so much. And I will definitely be looking forward to getting my package from the Rylend verse in the mail sometime soon.
Coming soon, man. Yeah. Good. So check out the Jump, guys. It's awesome.
For sure. Get on this project before it's gone.
Cool.